Hello friends, my name is Natalia Porsche and I'm an attorney who is based in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I practice immigration law. Specifically, I practice defense to deportation and family visas, adjustment of status, and cancellation of removal. So in this video, I would like to tell you the difference between criminal bond and immigration bond. I also practice criminal cases, criminal defense such as DUI, traffic ticket, and other criminal cases, criminal defense related to other charges, felony or misdemeanor. And I am licensed in the state of Mississippi and I am based in Biloxi, Mississippi. Now, so what's the difference between immigration bond and criminal bond? Okay, so there are two different types of bonds. There are two different areas of law, specifically, completely. There is actually an area called crimmigration, if someone heard of you, and that's what I love about criminal and immigration law. When criminal and immigration law becomes, together one thing, and that's when an attorney can be really helpful if an attorney practices both criminal and immigration defense. So let's compare those two bonds. So now, first of all, immigration bond, when you can be ineligible for immigration bond if you're non-citizen, you have been detained by ICE, and right now you are in ICE detention center. So you can be ineligible for immigration bond. Immigration bond is not automatic. What does it mean? It's not, you have a right to immigration bond. However, you don't have an automatic right to immigration bond. You must request an immigration bond from immigration judge. In some cases, some instances, ICE might automatically set an immigration bond for you and agree to let you out. However, in majority of cases, you will have to request a bond, and you have to put in request so that your case could be heard by immigration judge if you are not in expedited removal or any other exceptions reply to your case. Now, again, this is your right. In criminal cases, however, it's automatic, right? This right is an automatic right. What it means is that you likely will see a judge within 48 hours, depends on the state where your criminal case is pending. However, it's an automatic, right? There's no issues whether you're going to see a judge or not. You will see a judge. So now you also will see a judge when, for example, you're non-citizen, you are detained by local law enforcement authorities, and you have a criminal case pending. So likely you will see a criminal judge, right? Misdemeanor judge or a felony judge who will say, okay, I will set your bond at, let's say, $500 for DUI arrest, hypothetically, right? And now you're thinking you're eligible for bond, but you are not. So this is state proceedings connected to a bond, criminal bond. Now, immigration proceedings will not kick in unless you will be in ICE custody, not in state custody. Okay, so that's the difference. Now, what is another difference between criminal bond and an immigration bond? So this is very important. You are not entitled to an attorney in immigration proceedings. Okay, in criminal proceedings, you are entitled, you have Sixth Amendment, Fifth Amendment right, you are entitled to an attorney, right? So in immigration proceedings, you must pay for your attorney, you must retain a private lawyer unless there's a pro bono lawyer who will do work for free for you. And sometimes there are different organizations which provides these sort of services free of charge. But majority of cases you will have to retain a lawyer. So the government does not appoint you an immigration attorney to represent you. Okay, so the government is not paying for your representation. Unlike in criminal case, if you have a felony case, for sure you are entitled to a lawyer. If you have a misdemeanor case and serious misdemeanor cases, you also will be entitled to an attorney. So now, number 3, there is a huge difference in burden of proof, right? So in criminal cases, for example, in Mississippi, here state has a burden of proof to show that you are likely not appear at your future criminal court dates and that you will be committing different, crimes if you let out, for example, right? So So state bears a burden. Your DA office bears a burden of proof by clear and convincing that you are not a person who is entitled to a bond, right? So in immigration cases is a totally different game. So there you have a burden. Non-citizen, detained non-citizen has a burden to prove that he is entitled to a bond if, he's automatically not entitled to a bond. And there are specific circumstances when you're not. So here you have a burden. You bear a burden of proof to show that, I am a person who will appear at the future court hearings. I am a person who is not a danger to the community, right? Who did not commit a violent crime, etc. So there are different things that you must establish. You must establish and you must corroborate your testimony by supporting evidence that you are not a flight risk, that you are a person of good moral character, and that you will appear at your next future hearing state, right? That you stipulate with eyes that, you will appear, you will have what kind of conditions you will have with your bond. For example, you will have an ankle bracelet and stuff like that. So there are different things that your attorney can stipulate with eyes in order to let you go until your next hearing, right? Deportation hearing. So you'll be waiting out on bond for your deportation hearings. Now, here's the difference also. In criminal proceedings, the judge will take in consideration your financial situation, right? How much bills you have to pay, whether you have mortgage, kids, what kind of income do you have. So all these factors will be taken into consideration. However, in immigration cases and immigration removal cases, non-citizen cannot get a bond based on his or her, financial situation. In the majority of cases, sometimes we'll have different bond amount, two similar cases, and the judge will put, for example, $5,000 bond on one case and $3,500 on the other. And we never know why. So there are certain things that judges will not take into consideration, unfortunately, in immigration deportation cases during bond hearings. The problem is here, with non-citizens who are in immigration detention center, that majority of them do not speak very good English. They have barrier, to getting their evidence in court, right? They have to have a lawyer who will call, for example, get their record of arrest, get their public record request, and obtain police reports, contact, a law enforcement authority who arrested non-citizen for example, a traffic ticket, traffic violation, or DUI. And so there is a barrier that is between the system, which is in English, and respondent who is in detention center who speaks only Spanish, let's say, or Russian or any other language, right? So there is a problem for this specific respondent to access, certain evidence, to speak with certain people who can provide him or her with letters of references, sponsorship, and etc. So in the criminal proceedings, it's a little different, although if you're a non-citizen, you're in criminal proceeding before you go in front of an immigration judge, then also you are facing substantial barrier, right? Sometimes they will not have a certified interpreter for you in court. They just will have an interpreter. And I saw it many times in federal court, in state court. And I really appreciate Chancery Court judges who require now to have a certified interpreter, because I think, in my opinion, that's important. So that was my thing about, tell you the difference about immigration bond and criminal bond. Why immigration law is so weak in this area. We have been told through, lawyers through law school and through majority of different resources from AILA and other. Thanks to AILA, we have great support, immigration attorneys who are members of AILA, and it kind of gives us a little bit more information. And immigration law always been kind of a ghost, right? Ghost just kind of hanging there, in the back. Although it's just so right now, every time it suffers such an impact when we have a new government or a new elected president, or it is putting burden on people to recreate, to change the system, right? To adapt, to change the case law. So also judges, I can only imagine immigration judges, what they go through. So that's why I wanted to make this video, so that you understand again, because a lot of respondents in immigration proceedings, they think that the government must prove, like the government must prove in criminal cases, but that's not the case. Absolutely not the case. So that's why it's important to consult with an experienced immigration attorney about your bond. And finally, I wanted to tell you about this main difference, which is really important. In immigration case and bond, you can also only ask for a bond one time. Funny, huh? But one time, yes. And although you can withdraw your request at any time before judge rules, or if a judge asks you, hey, if you don't have enough evidence, corroborating evidence, would you like to withdraw your request? And of course, you should consider that. But however, in criminal case, I believe you can file a second, a third motion. In bond hearings, you can only file one motion unless there were a change in material change or substantial change in circumstances of respondent, of non-citizen in his life. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. Again, I will be updating you with future videos, more information. And like I said, we attorneys just gathering more information now, and we will be going through another change. I mean, immigration law constantly goes through changes. It's the most changeable area of practice in the United States. I believe it's in immigration law. Okay, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, make a comment, or if you're watching me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, put thumbs up. And my name is Natalia Porsha. If you need to set up a consultation with my office, hablo español. My phone number is 228-229-7500. The phone number is down below, or you can go to my website, nataliaporschlawfirm.com. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.